the view can be the speaker. Darshan was trying to tell me something about
Yeah, you do. Same moment you got.
what was it? No. But if I pin myself, then I don't show up as
No,
the
ma,
speaker.
pin is different. You have to say spotlight. Pinning is for your personal, but
Acha.
spotlight is for everyone. So when
Okay,
you
now
pin, I
I
want
will
to.
pin only. I don't want the spotlight, no, because people might want to watch other people.
No, but that they can do. They can do others by watching in gallery.
अच्छा,
But
okay.
when someone speaks up ना in case in between volume तो फिर वो पिन मतलब वो उनका आ जाता है because it is not spotlighted by you.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. All right. So let's, most of the times actually I just simply do pin and that kind of works. Okay. So I'll try the spotlight another time. I need to explore that a little bit. But let's first see if we are on YouTube. Are we on YouTube? I thought I said yes.
Yeah, yes, Mihal.
Acha, हाँ, I can see you on YouTube now. And I can see you and I having that conversation. ठीक है, बढ़िया. We are on. All right, so going back to our session. I can't take eyes off you. That's very good. That's exactly what we were talking about. If you can't take eyes off me, then very good. I'm already spotlighted for you. So that's how. Okay. All right. Wonderful. All right. So hello everyone and a very warm welcome to today's session. Today's session, this fun relationship called marriage. Fun relationship called marriage. So before we even get into the energy perspective, because over there it gets really boring, but we are first going to explore what people have to think about marriage. So it is so fun that anytime I meet a young, marriageable age person, whether they're about to get married or whether they're looking for someone or they're in a relationship, no matter where they are in that phase, if they are young and if they aren't yet married, then they have all of these stars in their eyes about how life is going to be completely different for them once they get married. Life is going to be filled with roses and chocolates and patani whatnots and dates, not the khane wala dates, but the jane wala dates. And and it's going to be in such an amazing space that they are going to live their life happily ever after. It must be all of those storybooks, of Cinderellas and whatever that they have read, that they have this really lovely idea of what their marriage is going to look like. So when they come to me, I pretty much ask them, so whose marriage around you do you see that is following that path? You know, people all around you, including your parents, everybody, some of your friends, but forget them. Uncle, aunties, and all of that are all married. Who do you think that your life is going to, kind of be like theirs? Because if you say that yours is going to be so amazing that I'm just waiting for that one person. Oh, somebody wrote to me saying, will I ever get married? Will I ever have that one person who will give me full attention? Because तो सुनते बोलते बोलते भी हंसी आ रही है. I can't even speak it nicely. Like they had it with their stars in their eyes. Oh my God. That one person who is going to take care and love me unconditionally. And I said, really? From where are you getting this idea of what this person is going to do for you? What they are going to do for you is unconditional. Where? Right from the get go, the word marriage is all about, okay, you got to look after me, you got to look after and respect my parents, and this goes for both the parties. And you got to pay attention to my needs, and then both the parties wanting the same, that you should pay attention to my needs and I should pay attention to your needs. भाई दोनों अपनी अपनी देख लो, लेकिन नहीं, वो नहीं. You should pay attention to my needs. I should pay attention to your needs. You should complete me. I'm not going to complete myself. You should complete me. So, from that space of so many expectations, I mean, even if the spouse is whatever they are, even if they are the most worthy of all of this praise, can they keep up with this growing set of expectations? No, they cannot. They cannot, because all of your ideas, if you think that there's anybody around, if you can pinpoint anybody around who's going through this beautiful marriage, this beautiful Cinderella-like marriage, then, go and talk to them about how their marriage is looking so Cinderella. How? And then you will know all the steps that they have taken, all the stuff that they have gone through, all the compromises, everything that they have done to get into this so-called outwardly happy looking space. Couples like posing on Facebook with smiles is different from couples living their life completely with smiles only. That doesn't happen. For whoever it is happening, whoever is getting their क्या कहते हैं उसको, we'll come to that part later. Whoever has got that completely worthy spouse, that completely complete spouse, that the one who is filling in for them, the one who is making them complete, then they have to understand that this particular role of love they might have given to the husband, some other part, some other relationship will then be looking at their face and so not feeling complete. So mostly this time today we are covering marriage, mostly because this is where people have expectations that this is going to complete me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read out this hilarious comment that I received when this topic was announced, and many of you have already read it on the group that we are at. But here, somebody addresses this to me saying, I once heard someone say that people who don't ever get married, or those whose desire to get married remains unfulfilled, other than the sannyasis, become Brahma Rakshas after they die. Now, I don't even know what sort of Rakshas these are, but I don't exactly fancy that job title. Nevertheless, can you please answer this concern in today's webinar? And then, of course, in my program, which is the Expect Miracles, I have a particular assignment where you have to think of the last day. Think of the last day today itself as if you are dying. And as you are dying, you have to scan yourself for all your energies. So this person is already, because she's done the Expect Miracles program, she's also a guide, etc., etc. So she's already done all of this. So she says, I know the last day exercise and scanning yourself to observe your desires and wishes and seeing them as a form of lack is the way forward. But there are some vague beliefs about how during the cremation of an unmarried person, some ritual remains incomplete. And then she says, I don't know the details because I haven't actually been cremated yet. Ruchi is a riot. This is written by Ruchi. You just tell us that it's a whole lot of bullshit. Observe the fears and these beliefs, and then tell us to go chill. Okay, so she's also told me what all I have to do in this particular session. So, and then she writes saying, मतलब मुझे शादी की चिंता नहीं है, पर मरने के बाद किसी वेग रिचुअल की कंप्लीशन की चिंता है. तो हमने उसको जवाब में लिखा कि बेसिकली तुझे मरने के बाद राक्षस नहीं बनना, तुझे तो जीते जी शादी करके जिंदा राक्षस बनना है. Because that is what will happen ना. इतनी सारी एक्सपेक्टेशंस लगाई हुई हैं अगर तुमने किसी से, और फिर वो एक्सपेक्टेशंस जब टूटेंगी तो तुम क्या बनोगे, तुम्हारा कौन सा रूप सामने आएगा, राक्षस रूप ही सामने आएगा. So that is how it is. It is so funny to talk about marriage. So going back to the topic of marriage and how all our lives हमको बस यही सिखलाया जाता है, बतलाया जाता है कि बाकी सब तो ठीक है, या सब बाकी सब ठीक नहीं भी है तो भी तुम तो बस शादी कर लो, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. तुम शादी कर लो, everything is going well, great, now you can get married. Nothing is going well, that's all right, now at least get married. So for everything, the solution seems to be marriage. Firstly, to cut this key, when everybody is telling us to get married, when everybody around us is wanting us to get married, अभी यहाँ पे हम पॉज करके थोड़ा सा एनर्जी का काम करेंगे, क्योंकि एवरीबडी तो कोई है ही नहीं। क्योंकि अगर सामने से लोग तुमको इतना ही तंग कर रहे हैं शादी करने के लिए, तो समझ जाओ कि दे आर रिफ्लेक्टिंग योर लैकिंग पार्ट्स, your lack, the incompleteness that you feel, the lack of love that you feel for yourself, that you hold in your energies. वो lack of love सामने दिखाई दे रहा है from this space of everybody is after my life to get married. Everybody is telling me to get married. So anyways, so firstly then coming to that space कि बाहर अगर कुछ इतना ज्यादा प्रेशर दिखाई दे रहा है, तो इट्स नॉट अरे माय पेरेंट्स पुश मी सो हार्ड दैट इज व्हाई आई गॉट मैरिड. नो नो, योर मैरिज वाज ऑन फॉर योर made by your energy field, and that is why you got married. अरे I had choices of these 5 people, उन सबको छोड़ के मैंने तुमसे शादी कर ली. तुम सबको छोड़ के नहीं, तुम एक एक से वन आफ्टर द अदर भी शादी करती, तो नतीजा सेम ही होता. नतीजा सेम ही होता. तुमको हर जगह से वो ही मिलता जो इससे मिल रहा है. When people come to me and say कि इससे शादी करें, उससे शादी करें, इस ही से शादी करनी है, so many people will be like, oh my God, no, I have this one person and that is the only right person for me. I have to get married to him. Please understand that yes, the stage is being set. The stage is being set. When people say, oh, I पहली नजर में ही देखते ही मुझे तो प्यार हो गया. What is that? That is not pyar. That is not pyar at all. Call it anything. Call it lust, call it attachment, call it, aankhon pe parda, call it anything. That is not love. That is how the stage gets set. What do I mean by the stage getting set? When you are ready for an actor to play out many of your emotions, an actor to reflect back at you, bhar bhar ke, one main actor who is going to give you a bunch of emotions. When you are ready for that, something like this might happen, that you will bump into someone and they will feel the most right person in that moment. Why? Because their energy and your energy is completely resonating and matching at the same level. Ask me what that level is. That level is the level of expectations, the level of lack, the level of desires, the level of all of these attachments. That's the level where their energies are resonating at and where your energies are resonating at as well. And so the two of you meet and it's exactly love and fireworks at the first shot. This is the rightest person. And then what happens? Yeah, you move forward and then they seem like the most right person. Everything that you have ever wanted in a life partner. Yeah, tick, 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 tick. All ticks, all the right boxes are being ticked. And so you start to actually think that, yes, this is exactly the right place to be, right place to go. Whoever I have met before earlier, never like this, never such a resonance, never so much of connection I have felt with them. Well, so you go ahead and you get married. And as quickly as can be, you will start to see those walls crumble. Why? Because the stage was being set for your expectations. For your expectations. And what is the most amazing link that we have from expectations? Well, firstly, we create attachments to people, not love, attachments. So firstly, we create attachments to people. And then as soon as we have those attachments, then we create expectations. And then as soon as those expectations are broken, oh my God, samne wala is the villain. The one in front is the villain. We don't have the finger on us. No, we are still moving around in the external world. And so we don't have the finger on us. And we start to find so much of problem with the one in front of us. When, again, taking a detour towards the energy, when we begin to understand the energy, we begin to understand that they are not the problem. The problem is as many number of expectations that we have created. And when those expectations break, we are to experience the hurt frequency. We are to experience the pain, the breaking of the heart. As to, Are, ye kya ho gaya? This person was completely different. And now what happened? This is a completely different person. Who did I go ahead and marry? So, to understand that the hurt frequency that you are tuned into right now, the hurt frequency belongs to you only. And so, for the hurt to be experienced, that's where the stage has to be set. Expectations are necessary for us to be able to experience our own hurt frequency. If we are holding a lot of hurt in our energy field, then we will keep creating expectations from an outside world, and then those expectations will keep breaking, and we will keep growing that hurt and growing that hurt even more for ourselves through this entire stage setting. Expectations will not be from anyone. Somebody has to deem special. You have to think of somebody as being very special. And so in that special, in that special bucket, we put our children, we put our spouses, not spouses so much, but at least girlfriends. And when we are just about to get married, those days ka spouses, where everything seems so rosy, that's where the stage of expectations is set. And then after that, the expectations start to get broken. You will experience hurt and more hurt. And this is when there is somebody present. But if there is so much of hurt frequency in you, it can be set up through another stage as well. That, you find someone, they seem to be perfect to you, and then it breaks. And then it breaks. And again, you had a lot of expectations of what the future is going to look like. That future with this person is going to look in a certain way, and everything is going to be so rosy, and everything is perfect. And this person, whatever is not perfect, this person is going to make it perfect. Well, guess what? Your expectations, and therefore, when they break, it's your hurt. You are going to be hurt. So when they don't go through with it, they're already breaking your expectations already. And now you're already, even without going through a marriage, even without experiencing what the actual life would have looked like, here you are, even before that, already experiencing the hurt that otherwise would have come. When people come to me with, broken hearts, I'm like, Arey, shadi ke pehle ye sab ho gaya. This is an amazing piece of news. You should be so thankful, because when the energies are matched in such a way that the person is going to break your heart right now, well, he's going to break your heart right now and going to break your heart later. It's the same, because your energy and their energies are vibrating at that level. So we can't do anything about what they have done and they have broken up. But what can we do? Oh, this is the energy that brought me so much of heartbreak. Okay, then let's go around and change this particular frequency. This frequency of hurt, which is created from expectations, let's start to change this frequency. So this is to talk about what happens when you're out looking for someone. And then there's this third scenario where somebody doesn't appear only. Your life goes by, your marriageable age goes by, and nobody appears that seems right for whatever reasons. People don't appear that seem to be the right kind of person. And so your life goes by, and then you're sitting in this one big regret. वो लड्डू तो खाया ही नहीं, है ना? कोई भी लड्डू खा लो यार, एक ही जैसा है. So here it is that, oh, we haven't tasted that. We haven't tasted what marriage feels like. We have not had that kind of a relationship, which, by the way, will give us that unconditional love which we think it is going to give us. Okay. So when this happens, the one main frequent energy that I find is, again, not just lack of self-love, but also regret. A lot of regret that you didn't get to experience something. Kuch to reh gaya. You stayed incomplete. Spend 5 days, with your married friends and talk to them about their marriage. And you will find that they got married. And after many years of marriage, they still remain incomplete. The completion hasn't happened. That completion, kids might have happened. And once the kids happen, no, शादी नहीं चल रही, तुम बच्चे पैदा कर लो. Yeah, बच्चे होने के बाद सब ठीक हो जाएगा. This is the continuous story on the outside that you kind of live to believe in. But to understand that when you are looking at a husband to complete you, and then you are looking at your children to complete you, and then the children are born and you get so busy, you forget about completion. But when children start to find their own lives, and then you look at it and say, oh my God, nobody ever completed me. Nobody completed me at all. The children have found their own lives. The spouses where things are. And now you begin to understand that outside, no one is meant to complete you. That completion needs to happen from you, by you, within you. And how will the completion happen? What will it take to complete yourself? You can't get a position, you can't get something, you can't make something of yourself. No, the only way to understand this part of completion is that to begin with, you were already complete. You were already complete, but you came to earth to experience lack. You were already complete. However, you wish to experience lack. And so, what better way to experience lack but to breed this idea that something outside is going to complete you? A mother, a father, a parent, but most importantly, in this particular space, we think that a spouse is going to complete us. We cannot be complete from outside ever because we came from the complete space already. And so only to come to the recognition that we are complete with and without marriage, and whatever the marriage brings, with and without children, we are already complete. The expectations from the marriage, not just of the emotional self, but also of the physical self. You expect that somebody else is going to help you, support you emotionally. When you talk about emotional support, now that you understand the energy of it, what emotional support is needed? Every emotion, and now I'm going to go into energies for this, every emotion is just a frequency. How much support does a television channel need except for the remote to be picked up and to be changed, another channel to be brought in? What kind of a support do you need? If you have a television in front, if you have a remote in your hand, and if you are subscribed to 600 channels, what kind of support, extra support do you need for you to change your channel? That's exactly the kind of emotional support you need from anyone on the outside. Oh, my husband doesn't support me, but my children do. Well, you don't need support because each of these, when you start to look for support outside, you are then tying yourself into this idea of, again, how incomplete I am and how needy I am. I constantly need support. I need support to get through this. Oh, so many people supported me on this. That is how I got through this. You got through this because your energy brought you many different solutions, and you don't need support. As a matter of fact, the more, this is where the paradoxes play in, the more support you don't need, the more support you have. Deal with it. That's how the paradoxes of this life work. The more support you don't need, the more support you have. The more love that you don't need, the more love you have, because the need has been looked into and released. How will the love show up? Will it show up in the form of a spouse? Will it show up in the form of a, in the form of a friend? We don't know, because again, now I come to the part about how much we limit ourselves through this word called marriage. Of course, marriage is where you're supposed to be, क्या कहते हैं उसको? In a monogamous relationship. So you are not obviously going to go out and date more people once you're married. Well, that's the assumption, that you're not going to go out and date other people. I know quite a few people who are not following that assumption, and that's their energy of confusion and doubt. But if you're already complete, if you're already feeling that completion, then one is more than enough for you to continue with that completion set. One. Actually, zero is more than enough. But if you have somebody in your life already, or if you're going to go out and, friend somebody, marry somebody, all the same things, then one is good enough. Because outside looking for 5 different doesn't change anything. It only puts you into deeper and deeper lack. So now to think of, so just a few days ago, and many people know that that we went, Manoj and I went for a Padyatra. We had this entire session last time about all our experiences of the Padyatra. And as we came back, so, we stayed out for 2 nights and 3 nights. And in my mind, for example, I no longer classify myself as a woman or a man. I don't, because I have understood that I am the Ardhanarishwar, right? I am the man and the woman. And that is how I sit in a complete space. I am complete. With or without someone, I am complete. I sit in that space. So it didn't even, when Manoj said, okay, fine, if you're coming, then we'll go alone. I would prefer that I would like to make this journey with you alone. Yeah, perfect. No problem at all. And so we go on this journey. And then as we are moving around, and people are thinking whatever they are thinking, what people think doesn't trigger me. It doesn't bother me. Whatever limitations they have, that's their journey, and that's completely okay. And then when we came back, we came into Umargaon, and over there, those people had malas, one for Manoj and one for me. And so they, मेरे को माला पहनाई. And जब मुझे कोई माला पहनाता है, तो मैं उनको दोबारा से वही माला पहना देती हूँ. तो उन्होंने मुझे शॉल पहनाया, मैंने उनको वही शॉल पहना दिया. Then somebody else also put a garland on me. And then when they were done with the process, I put the garland on them. And then as Manoj honored me and I honored Manoj, Manoj said, "अरे माला लेके आओ, माला लेके आओ." तो माला लेके उसने मुझे पहनाई, and says कि हाँ तुम मुझे पहना दो, because we are honoring each other. तो उन्होंने मुझे पहना दी, and we are laughing, शादी हो गई, शादी हो गई. And it was so hilarious, because for me, इस तरह की शादी happens to me every single, like every few weeks. It happens to me every few weeks. Somebody or the other is constantly bringing me out of nowhere, bringing me a gift, and sometimes it's a ring. As a matter of fact, I'm holding one of those rings. I'm wearing one of those rings, and that too in my ring finger. That the person who gave me this ring, when she watches it, she will know. So I'm wearing this ring, and we were in a bus and we were traveling somewhere, and she suddenly got guided that she should give me this ring. So she went through her own process of sorting out that. But after that, and I'm talking to people and I'm in the bus and everything, and she grabs hold of my hand and she puts this ring on my finger. And she puts this ring on my finger, saying, "Mujhe guidance mein aa raha hai." I said, "Okay, wonderful. Thank you. I allow, I accept." As she puts this ring on my finger, she says, "Abhi tumhari aur meri shaadi ho gayi." And I said, "Of course, absolutely. Ho to gayi." And then I said, "But just to get your expectations right, tomorrow I might just get married to somebody else. And so you should be prepared for that, because this particular shadi, the one that you got in guidance, the one that I did, this is, ye to kal bhi aur ho jayegi na. This is not that ab hum shadi shuda hi rahenge or something like that, that now we have to live with each other. No, no. Hamari shadi ho gayi, for me, is totally now understanding the connect that everyone feels with me. The connect, the honoring of me and you, the honoring of you through me, the honoring of me through you, is where we are simply, they are giving rings. I'm not even exchanging rings, but they are getting engaged to me through this. And one of them came, and it was like Mitali, and she came a few years ago, and she was guided to give me a ring. But as she got me the ring, she says, no, no, I think I want to propose to you. So she's sitting on her knees, and she's telling me, Mama, will you marry me? Right? Mama, will you marry me? And that sounds totally, absolutely logical to me. And I'm like, yes, of course, I will marry you. So I say yes. And in the meanwhile, my husband of this life, Sudhanshu, is passing by. And Mithali says to Sudhanshu, saying, Sudhanshu, can you please take a picture? I'm getting married to Mama. And Sudhanshu is like, ye natak tum khud hi karo. I'm not part of this. Ye natak tum hi karo. So when this happens, when for me, it's not just, it's fun, it's hilarious. I have such a laugh, because to me, marriage doesn't hold a deeper, oh, now you have to live together with me, now you have to have only one relationship with me. Marriage to me right now means that I honor you and you honor me. So as many people, in that in that moment itself, there must have been 5 people जिन्होंने मुझको हार पहनाया, तो मैंने वापस उनको पहना दिया. लेकिन only because Manoj and I did it to each other simultaneously, and then somebody said, oh my God, ye to shaadi ho gayi, something ho gayi, wo ho gaya. And I was just looking at them and laughing, saying, this is how we limit ourselves in the ways that we can receive love. In the ways that we can receive love. We name love, and then we sit in the limitations created by that name. And does that stop you? Does it stop me today from receiving love from anybody? No. As a matter of fact, whoever comes my way has no choice but to love me. They have no choice but to love me. Why? And now you know the answer. Because it is my self-love that is reflecting through them. So what does a marriage mean? To you, what it means, that is what we are exploring today. But to me, it simply means that, yeah, it is with one person, but it is not a limiting relationship. It is a relationship which allows my self-love to be seen through him, just as with every other actor, which lets me see the expectations, and this relationship lets me work on my expectations, on my, wherever I've put conditionality on love. And that's all that a marriage does to me. This is where I sit with the understanding of marriage today. As far as the sexual part of it is concerned, long time ago, we've actually already spoken about that, when Mani actually told me that, even kids know how to satisfy themselves sexually. But as you grow older, no, even this need that, no, somebody else needs to satisfy me sexually becomes a need that needs to be fulfilled from the outside. Need, expectations hurt when it is not met. So again, rather than going into that piece, if you know how to satisfy yourself, then why are you waiting for another person? A sexual need, in Maslow's hierarchy, is just as basic as the need for food. Maslow's hierarchy, you all can go and check up. It's one of those MBA, needs, and the needs in the hierarchy. They're all talked about in that particular model. And he talks about how food and shelter and sex and a few other things, they're all the most basic of the human needs. And that is pretty much true, right? Because not just human, it happens even to animals around, but they don't, they are not so tied to one kind of a relationship, not one limitation. But even to understand that as we live in a society, we follow some rules, but inner wise, looking inwardly, are we then tying ourselves to those rules? You are married to me, you should love me. You are married to me, you have to take care of me. Does that really happen by the rule book? When can you ever force somebody to love you? When? How does that even happen? Not even amongst parents and children. When, there are so many times that I find children saying, no, I don't love my father, or I don't love my mother. So it's not by the rule book that just because you are my father, I have to love you. It's never by the rule book that just because you're my husband, I have to love you. It'll depend on what the relationship is bringing to me. This is when I'm looking on the outside. Today, when we see the inside, when we are able to look at our own energy and see, okay, I've got such a mashallah husband, then why is it that I have this husband? Somebody, not just one person, hundreds of people come to me and say, oh, my husband has made my life miserable. I used to be such a free bird before marriage. I used to be this, I used to be that. And now all my wings are clipped, and this doesn't happen and that doesn't happen in my life is so sad. To understand again over here, your finger is outside on the husband, and then all your expectations of how your life was and how it should have been. But as I said, when your life was good earlier, the stage was being set. The stage was being set for your expectations. And when the expectations are broken, the stage is actually being set for your hurt frequency. So if you are sitting in the hurt frequency, the role that you have given to your husband is that of creating hurt for you. And so what do we have to do this time? Only in the energies, but to be able to look at our own expectations, our own attachments. Everywhere we have attachments, there are going to be expectations. Everywhere we have expectations, the love is fully conditional. Fully conditional. For the love to be unconditional, the first thing that you have to let go of is expectation. तेरी जर्नी बहुत बढ़िया, मेरी जर्नी बहुत बढ़िया. But the बहुत बढ़िया needs to come with love, not तेरी जर्नी बहुत बढ़िया. That is not the place of love. That is the place of hurt. When you are just ready to let go, when somebody says to me, oh, I've totally detached from my child now. He never listens to me, so I've totally detached from the child now. That's not detachment. That's your hurt frequency talking. When you've totally detached from your husband, he can do whatever he wants. I have nothing to do with my husband. That is hurt frequency speaking. That is definitely not detachment. Detachment comes from the place of love, from the place of oneness, to recognize that I am Shiva and Parvati, and you are Shiva and Parvati too. We are both complete wherever we are, and yet life has thrown us together. You are an actor for my energy field, just as I'm an actor for your energy field. And from that space, whenever something is happening in the marriage, and you will find many times, I mean, things are always going to be shown up to you layer by layer by layer, no matter how much you work within. As I remind everybody, potty is every day. Potty is every day. You have to work every single day to see what is keeping your needle away from masti today. That's the question. So I'm in masti, I'm in masti, I'm in masti. And suddenly somebody comes and throws, a bummer at me. And now that throws me off. And in how much time will I be able to recognize that he didn't throw me off? I am the one who's now sitting in a different frequency, and I simply need to bring myself back to the masti frequency again. So what will it take for me to come back to from this frequency to the masti frequency? Release and allow, accept, and then change your frequency. And that's all there is to it. So when people are coming to me with these limited ideas of marriage, and I don't, in one moment, I do judge them, because judgment is our first response. We are on earth in duality. So in one moment, I will judge them saying how limited they have become in their understanding of marriage, because marriage is not an institution. It's just a piece of paper. You cannot force people to fall in love with you. You cannot force people to stay with you. You cannot force people to take care of you. You cannot force people to be in a relationship with you. You can only do all of this stuff for yourself. You have to be in a relationship with yourself. You have to take care of yourself. You have to love yourself. That is where the entire buck stops. That you have to love yourself unconditionally. Unconditionally. No matter what is happening around you, no matter what gets thrown at you, are you able to look at your own self, be kind to yourself, and say, I am awesome. I love myself. I am awesome. That is the place where, where all the marriage is coming true for you. The marriage is within. The marriage is the union of the Shiv and Parvati within. Are you in balance and in acceptance of your feminine side? And are you in acceptance of your masculine side? And both of them, are you in acceptance of both your sides of the coin? And that's what the marriage is in energy terms. When you're looking at from the outside, I was actually just listening to the to the previous week's webinar, and somebody said, "Oh, Guruji, I had a garland, and then I couldn't put the garland on you because that would have seemed like marriage." I actually just fell off the charts laughing because I was like, oh my God, look at how much judgment. And is this a serving judgment? Even your love towards your guru is so conditional. It cannot look like this and it cannot look like that. How can it be? From the way I look at it, because I was just talking about this engagement, and it was so hilarious that we were in Kamakhya at that time, and we were in the bus heading to Shillong. The next day, I'm sitting and having dinner, and somebody else comes in from Delhi. She's from Delhi, and actually, this person is also from Delhi. Somebody else comes in from Delhi, and she says, I have a gift for you. So I said, okay, thank you. And then she opens up this really beautiful box and takes out this beautiful diamond ring. And then she says, this is the gift that I wish to give you. And then I called out to this one and I said, Are Dek, just yesterday I told you that I would be getting engaged another time soon. I'd be getting married soon. Not even 24 hours have passed, and here I am already on my next marriage. And so to understand that each of you, even when I look at it, it's just a cute observation that I had, because I said, when kids are young, if it's a boy, the first person that they want to marry or they think that should marry and they should marry is their mother. That's the one that appeals, like, "Ki, haan, Mummy, when I grow old, I want to get married to you." And it's the same with, it's the opposite with the girls. And when they think of like, okay, I really want to marry you, then the first thing that the person that they think of is father, because in that moment, all that they have understood is love. They haven't understood the dynamics of, okay, this needs to be happening in the marriage. For them, marriage is just all about expression of love. And so the boys want to get married to their mothers because that's where they see the maximum love. And that is where they want to give it to. And so when somebody comes to me and, they're calling me mom, more than half the world calls me mom. And then they're like, Mom, we really want to get married to you. Of course, I totally understand. It's an expression of your love. And it means nothing more and it means nothing less. So there's that song, no? प्यार को प्यार ही रहने दो कोई नाम ना दो. Because जब भी हमने उसको कोई भी नाम दिया, then the limitations bind us. Then it has to be in certain ways. Today, when we talk about so many different kinds of marriages, and people don't have acceptance. But if you let go of what the word marriage means to you, that limited marriage, then just simply understand that no matter who wants to marry, it's simply their expression of love. That is where they believe in, that is who they belong to, that is what they wish to experience. It's love. And now, no, love can only happen between a man and a woman. Love can only happen between one caste, within a caste, and all of those limitations that we create for ourselves. And so the more limitations we create for ourselves, the less love we are experiencing towards ourselves. There is nobody else. But when we are cutting ourselves into so many different pieces, इसके साथ नहीं, उसके साथ हाँ, इस religion में नहीं, उस caste में हाँ, इसके, not in this gender, even gender, I say just simply understand it as an expression of love. And we have so many different expressions of love. We have to different age groups, to children and to parents and all of that. And similarly, we have to somebody that we call our spouse, our partner. In energy terms, what are they going to bring to you? Nothing different. Whatever your energy field is, that's always going to be reflected back at you. So all of those dreams that you have and everything, now take a look at your dreams and let them go. Let them go. Only because wherever there are dreams, those desires are simply seeped in the frequency of lack. Lack, because there's an expectation from the other, and that might or might not get fulfilled. And when the lack of it shows up, hurt is going to show up, and then more and more resentment is going to show up. It's a story from a few years ago, but every time Sudhanshu and I, for example, if we'll have an argument or something, immediately, earlier the arguments used to be very different when I was not aware. Earlier the arguments were all about, oh my God, how can you do this to me? You know me, how can you do this to me? Now, no more of that argument, because every time there's an argument, quickly my mind starts to scan. Okay, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? Oh, I'm feeling hurt. I must have put some expectations someplace. If I have put some expectations someplace, it's my job to let go of those expectations, because he is not hurting me. It's my expectations that are hurting me. And so I let go of those expectations and thank him with all the love. And then it's amazing how how the story changes so quickly when I have worked on myself. But just a few years ago, this is what happened, that we had, early in the morning, we had a really, really terrible fight, really massive fight for no reason. He did not give me a reason, and I fought. And that is how, I found a reason of something that happened 2 months ago. And on that story, today in the morning at 5:30 a.m., I fought. And it was amazing, because a part of me was looking at me fighting. And then there is other part of me which is standing at the back and observing what is happening over here. This fight is being created because in everything in my life, I say, is created by money. And so this fight too is being created by money. So what is money trying to show me today? And so there's this one part of me which is already as an observer watching, but it's not that I'm not fighting. Oh my God, I'm fighting. And there is so much of hurt, and there was so much of, resentment and all of that that came up. And so I went into the room and I said, okay, what is this resentment about? I don't have resentment. So the answer came, no, resentment is not from you, but it's from his side. And I said, okay, I understand. There were other actors showing him resentment earlier, and now I seem to have taken that role. Okay. As soon as I looked into that, I just felt that there was something else, because I said, so much hurt that I'm experiencing today. It's almost like I've worked so much. I seem to be at the bottom of the barrel. At the bottom of the barrel. So what is remaining for me to understand? Itna to hurt pe kaam kiya. Now what is remaining? And then 2 days later, the answer, it came at a setting, at a party setting and everything. But 2 days later, the answer that came was marriage itself. The world thinks that they are getting married because they are in love. And marriage itself is the stage, the platform setting for expectations, that piece of paper that once you have in your hand, that now this relationship is going to last forever. That is the biggest expectation that you are going to have. And that expectation, you will very quickly see that, yeah, you might be staying together in the body, but it doesn't mean anything. Are you walking together with them? Are you not walking together with them? Are you completely at war all the time while staying physically in the same space. So all of these expectations, when they start to break, there is only hurt that comes from this. And then hurt starts to build into so much of resentment. And then it's either my way or your way. And there is so much separation. But what is the foundation? This very piece of paper, which is called the marriage certificate. So when I got this understanding that, oh my God, the marriage is not about love, it is actually about creating a stage from where resentment, hurt can be experienced. I was like, but the whole world is going around getting married in the name of love. Like everybody's like, oh, I love them so much. And so I want to get married to them. And then continuing with that relationship wherever it goes. So money's response to that was, yeah, of course, because you came to experience this. You came to experience the separation. You came to earth to experience separation from the self, for somebody else to complete you. And otherwise, you are going to keep sitting over there and feeling incomplete. And then somebody will come in. But guess what? After a while, you'll realize you're still feeling incomplete. And so in that space where constantly we play in hurt and in expectations, that's where the whole play of marriage is. As far as those rituals that Ruchi talked about, that if somebody doesn't get married and then they are going to become, a Brahma Rakshas, I will just say this: you are already the Brahma and you are already the Rakshas. So let both of them exist in peaceful coexistence. And so what if you become the Brahma Rakshas? You are the Brahma and you are the Rakshas, and be in that space that you already are both. You already are both, and you are the Brahma Rakshas. When they talk about some rituals for the ones who've never got married, if those rituals are left incomplete, just simply pay attention to those rituals that are going to make you feel incomplete. No, it's not those rituals. As a matter of fact, it is you that feels incomplete, that got this outside dialogue bazi to sit with you. When you are paying attention to some dialogues and then you feel the weight of those dialogues on your head, or maybe not on your head, this was just a joke that you were playing up. However, there are many people who actually believe in this, that this is how life is incomplete if we didn't get married. And so they're constantly in search for that something. But the more you are in search for something, the more it is your lack experience that is playing up. And it is simply about lack. If lack is your frequency today, then guess what? With marriage, it will continue to be the same. Without marriage, it will continue to be the same. In marriage, with children, with grandchildren, it will continue to be the same if lack is your frequency. On the other hand, if abundance is your frequency, then you know the answer. It'll continue to be the same. With marriage, it will stay the same. With children, stay the same. Without children, stay the same. With grandchildren, without grandchildren, with everyone around, with no one around, it will stay the same, that you will continue to feel complete. On days when you wish to experience lack, of course, a thought might come up that, oh, ho jati to acha tha. To recognize that the thought belongs to just a frequency. And today, lack has come to be experienced. And so for that reason, okay, आज ये आया है क्या experience करने के लिए? Okay, बहुत ही बढ़िया होता कि हम शादी कर लेते, पर नहीं की शादी कर लेते तो जिंदा राक्षस बन जाते, अब मरने के बाद बढ़ना पड़ेगा. So, both ways, राक्षस तो तुमको बनना ही पड़ेगा, either through marriage or without marriage after death. You will be the Rakshas. Allow and accept your Rakshas self. That is my talk for today on the play of the word marriage. Is there anybody else who wishes to? Let's see what we have on chat. I blame Yashraj and Karan Johar for... Yes, you can blame anybody. But let me tell you, Yashraj and Karan Johar are only playing to your expectations. And so if your expectations are sitting within you, your heart frequency is sitting within you, and that will come to play irrespective of, no, I can't even blame Yash Raj and Karan Johar. I think they did make a movie for like two married couples who then fall in cross connect love with each other or some such thing. So
Kal
really,
ho na ho.
Kal ho na ho, no, something else. But
Yeah.
anyways, so it's not Kal ho na ho, but so somebody says, I'm already married forever to you, ever and ever and ever. Ammu, absolutely. I understand that. I agree totally. No, Karan Johar made some movie with, now look at this discussion. I don't even watch movies, but I know there is some cross connect. Rani Mukherjee and Shah Rukh Khan and Abhishek Bachchan. Yeah.
कभी खुशी कभी गम
ए दिल है मुश्किल.
Whatever. So Rani,
Yeah.
so this was a flop movie of two
कभी अलविदा
couples.
ना कहना.
All right then. Whatever everybody says. All the movies, go watch and tell me which was the right one. So, so all right. Okay then. Any questions so far on this particular topic? Anybody wants to speak? Anybody wants to have a conversation on this one? No? All good? Okay. All right then. Somebody, that har thing is so funny. It still sticks to me because I'm like, किसी को हार पहनाने से अगर शादी हो जाती तो मेरे ख्याल से I would have had like how many of them have, जो भी मेरे को हार पहनाते मैं तो वापस पहना देती हूँ 2 मिनट के बाद. तो I probably have 1,000 spouses right now. Some I'm not even aware of. हार पहनाने से सबकी शादी हो गई. All right then. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. I take energy from Meenal. I am Meenal. I take energy from Meenal. I am Meenal. And in this moment, we are going to acknowledge all our divine feminine energies in the body. Things that you might call feminine. No matter what sex you are, male, female, does not matter. But each of us has some beautiful feminine energies. They might be of tender love, motherly love, caring, looking after others, loving in a soft, beautiful way. Those are our feminine energies. Liking to dress up, feminine energy. Looking at the mirror, looking at yourself, feminine energy. Being aware of beauty, feminine energy. Whether it's your own beauty or beauty around you, that's feminine energy, that you are aware of the beauty around you. So be aware of all the feminine energies that you hold. They are all divine. And so in this moment, thanking your feminine side. This is your Parvati side. This is your feminine, beautiful, divine side. Acknowledging it, accepting it, not brushing it under the carpet. No, not trying to be masculine or anything. Just being right now in acceptance of your divine feminine energies. I accept and I love how divine, how feminine I am. the many frequencies of love, the divine feminine love that I hold. I acknowledge. I love myself for being this feminine self. I love myself as I am in this feminine form. And now, the next moment, completely accepting, allowing, witnessing your divine masculine energies, being able to look at them, those divine masculine energies. When you take care of others, when you take hold, when you take charge, when you come to the front and you're able to do things for others, all of these divine masculine energies. When you stand strong, when you give support, when you hold strength, divine masculine energies. And so, witnessing all the places, so many different places where you might have been so strong. Whenever the hour needed it, you were that divine masculine self. And so, completely acknowledging, accepting, admiring your divine masculine energies. These are yours as much as those divine feminine are. Together, the masculine and the feminine make you complete. You are both. Whenever the need arises, you tune into the frequencies of that need, of that moment. You flow with whatever is needed. You flow in life with as much feminine as you are masculine. Not everywhere you need your masculinity. And so, in those places, you bring in your soft, motherly energies. And not anywhere and everywhere do you need to be just soft. So, in those places, you show your strength. You are the divine masculine self. And you know how to move and you know how to flow through both of these aspects of your own self. Both simply aspects of your own self. And you neither judge this nor that. Not judging the masculine nor the feminine, because underneath it all, you are divine. These are your divine masculine and your divine feminine, because underneath it all, you are divine, you are complete. I am complete. I hold the Shiva. I hold the Shakti. I am complete. For a moment, bring to your awareness the Ardhanarishwar root of Shiva. The half male, the half female aspect of Shiva. Bring it to your awareness. If you can imagine yourself in that state. If you cannot imagine, then simply understand that Shiva is in that state and you are Shiva. You are that Shiva who is completely aware of both of his sides. You are the Shiva that is completely in acceptance of both your sides. Honor the Shiva Honor the Shiva. And for that, the only thing that comes to mind right now is to imagine you on both sides. One is the Shiva side of you, and the other is the Shakti side of you. And together, the two of them becoming one, becoming simply one, merging with one another, becoming one, coming together, merging with one another, and becoming one. And as they become one, simply honoring them. I am this and I am that. I am this and I am that. Honoring yourself in all your forms, bringing a smile to your face as you see yourself as the divine, masculine and feminine. I am complete. Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani. Okay, G. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Lots and lots of love to all. I just
Thank
looking
you.
at everybody. Give me, so I keep forgetting the views. All right, everybody. Lots and lots of love to all of you. Enjoy yourselves, have fun, and thank you, everybody. Masti and more masti to all of us.